Yo, what's up, everybody? You know what time it is. It is time to talk shit about the world of weight cutting. And Uncle Mike is here to lay it down. Let me put on my +5 hat of shit talking. And we will get this going in a minute. I know you guys are populating right now. And a quick disclaimer, this is a YouTube live stream, which sometimes freezes, but do not click off. It comes right back. Now, I will be answering your questions at the end of the stream, so feel free to ask any question you want on any topic you want, whether it's how to gain big muscles or where do babies come from. I will do my best to answer to the best of my ability. But for now, I want to talk about the weight cutting controversy. What do I mean by that? Well, everybody talks about weight cutting is the scourge of MMA. Weight cutting is the biggest problem in MMA, and that's not true. Improper, unprofessional weight cutting is a problem. Yes. And based upon statistics, less than 3% of the athletes in the UFC have ever missed weight, which means 97% of the UFC rostered athletes make weight easily, no problem, on time. Therefore, what's the issue? Should we be pandering to the 3% or less of the fucking least professional turds in the sport? Does it make sense? Now, Dana White, president of the UFC, has recently come out and said that they are looking to change the early weigh-ins. Right now, weigh-ins are typically 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. on Friday, the day before a Saturday competition, or essentially 36 hours before competition. They want to change it back to the old archaic 4 p.m. day before competition, which means it would be a 24-hour weigh-in. What does that mean? Right now, the athletes have the benefit of weighing in 36 hours before competition. They want to go back to the old way and weigh the athletes in 24 hours before competition. This is a fatal mistake. All science, all medical science, all health practitioners, and all athletes. I have not spoken to one athlete, not one MMA athlete has said 4 p.m. is a good idea. Not one. I have spoken to hundreds. Okay. Not one athlete says the 4 p.m. is a good idea because the athlete knows how difficult it is to rehydrate. And here's the problem. The 36-hour weigh-in window is a step in the right direction, but it's not ideal. All credible science shows it takes up to 48 hours to adequately rehydrate and for your body to achieve a state of homeostasis or essential balance. You get back to zero because you're at negative. So it takes 48 hours in a perfect world. The UFC has stepped up and made it 36 hours, moved from 24, a step in the right direction. Not ideal, but better. Now they want to reverse it and go backwards to the 24-hour window to pander to less than 3% of the roster, which reflects the most unprofessional of the athletes on the cards. That's a problem. Now, the problem is further exacerbated by the athlete's inability to adequately rehydrate should they weigh in at 4 p.m. Now, let's think about this. If the athlete weighs in at 4 p.m., the weigh-ins start at 4 p.m., typically 4:05 p.m., because I've been to hundreds of them. And then the line starts moving through. The weigh-ins typically are not over until 4:30, 4:45. Then the athletes have to wait around to do media. And then there's a big meeting with Dana White or whoever's running the show on that weekend. And then we have to get back into the cars and vans and shuttles and ship through some fucking city in the middle of rush hour traffic. Think about it. 5 p.m. on Friday is when we have to get shipped back to our hotel. rush hour traffic nearly every time. Usually, we don't get back to our hotel until between 6 and 7 p.m. the night before competition. The athlete should be in bed by midnight, right? The night before the most rigorous athletic performance of their life. What that means is the athlete really only has 5 hours to rehydrate and refeed themselves, to replace all the vital nutrients that they need in a short period of time. When they weigh in at 9 a.m., they're already in their hotel. They walk downstairs to a conference room. They step on the scale with the commissioners there. They do their medical checks. They walk right back upstairs with no hoopla in between. Mirsad Bektik, weighing started at 9 a.m. We were downstairs at 8:50. We started doing all of our medical checks at 9:01. I think he was on the scale by 9:10, 9:15. We were back in our hotel room by 9:40. From 9:40 on, we were refeeding, rehydrating all day long. So instead of only having 5 hours to consume, now we have 15 hours to consume. You tell me who is the healthier athlete, because the athlete has to sleep. They have to sleep, let's say from 12 a.m. to 8 or 9 a.m., right? Get that good 8 or 9 hours of sleep because they have such a big athletic performance. And then they wake up at, let's say, 9 a.m. the next day. Most of the athletes like to do a little stretch, a little shakeout first thing in the morning, a little walk, get their body moving. They'll have breakfast around 10 o'clock or so, 11, 12, maybe, 12, 1 o'clock. Some of the athletes are already getting on the bus because the fights start at 4 p.m. So some of these athletes can only get one, maybe two meals in on fight day. Now, if you're higher up on the card, you have the ability to get a second, maybe a third meal in. This is all real talk behind the scenes. Nobody's telling you guys this shit. This is true. This is the way it works. So the 4 p.m. weigh-in dramatically erodes the athlete's ability to rehydrate and refeed themselves to adequately prepare for the concussive nature of combat sports. Does that make sense? So moving the weigh-in from 9 a.m. now in the hotel to 4 p.m. somewhere across some fucking packed city like Chicago. When we did the weigh-ins at Chicago, fortunately, was it 4:30 p.m.? I think we had to be on the bus at 4:30 p.m. because we were working off East Coast time, I believe. No, that's not true. It wasn't 4:30 p.m. I believe it was 3:30 p.m. But I back up. So 3:30, it took us 45 minutes to get there. We got to the venue. We sat at the venue for almost an hour before the weigh-ins actually started. Then the weigh-ins finally start. And then after the weigh-ins, the athletes are shuttled back to the meeting room. They had to wait there for almost a half hour before the meeting began because business happens. And then they're released and shuttled back out, and media and all this stuff is going on. We were at the venue for almost 3 hours, start to finish, not including travel time. Mirsad and I, instead of waiting for the buses and the shuttles, I called an Uber Black. I had an Uber Black come and pick us up at the door behind the venue because I'm a fucking world-class coach that puts my athlete first, and I had no problem spending the $70 to get my athlete back to the hotel in a timely manner because he needs to continue getting ready to compete. I feel bad for all of the other athletes who had to sit on that fucking shuttle. We got back to the hotel an hour before the other athletes did. And we had our Uber driver in his, I forget what it was, some little, SUV, mid-sized SUV, zooming in and out of the Chicago traffic, knowing the ways and the one-way streets where some big old tour bus, because that's what the athletes typically get set on, these big, massive, like, Greyhound buses, like really plush. They're nice and all, but they're massive. They're not weaving in and out of traffic. They're fucked. They're stuck. So we got back to the hotel nearly 7:30, closer to 8 o'clock at night. Real talk. Imagine if Mirsad didn't weigh in at 9 a.m. and didn't have the ability to start rehydrating for the 8 hours before that point, 9, 10 hours before that point, it would have been a shit show. So that's number one. This is the controversy. And the controversy, unfortunately, keeps blaming or keeps looking for bureaucratic answers to the weight cutting problem when there's no bureaucratic answer that will matter, because regulated mixed martial arts competition has been in existence since 1993. Essentially, the first UFC was in 93, and I think 2001 or so is when the more athletic commissions got on board. I forget when the unified rules finally came in, but that was over a decade or so ago. So you're talking about 25 years of competition, sanctioned competition, with more and more and more regulation constantly being added on top. But we'll go to our sister sport, which is boxing. Very similar. Boxing has been regulated for 100 years, and still the debacle and weight cutting happens in boxing every weekend. Constantly happens. More regulation does not work. The only thing that works is financial penalties to the athlete themselves, because it's the athlete's responsibility to be on weight. Combat contracts are the simplest contract you will ever sign. It's a two-part contract. You make weight and you fight. You make weight on a specific day and time, and you show up to fight on a specific day and time. Contract done. That's all you have to do. And the vast majority of these contracts are signed 8 and 12 weeks in advance, giving the athlete 2 to 3 months to know their specific date. Yet these are professional athletes who fight for a living. Therefore, they know 52 weeks out of the year what their weight class is and that they have another fight coming up. Therefore, they cannot balloon 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds above their weight class without risking their ability to fulfill their contractual obligations. So, once again, we have to put the responsibility onto the athlete. And what do? We penalize those motherfuckers, penalize them. Take away all the bullshit bureaucracy, all the fucking bullshit weight certifications and multiple weigh-ins, because every athlete I know hacks that process. 13-year-olds in Iowa can scam every single one of these athletic commissions' fucking weight cutting checks. The California Andy Foster 10-point weight cutting safety system. Good intention by Andy. He's a good guy, well intended, but it's all fucking bullshit. I know all the athletes in California that laugh at it, that are standing on fake scales because the commissioner can't be there for the 30-day, 10-day weigh in. They're standing on gamed scales, right? The hydration testing is such a joke. I could certify 15 pounds lighter in an hour than I really should, based upon the metrics of the hydration testing. Easy, easy, easy. 13-year-olds in New Jersey are doing that right now for freshman wrestling. It's a fact. Ask any wrestling coach, ask any wrestling dad. It is easy to game every one of these tests. And I only say that to let you know that these tests don't work. It's all smoke and mirrors, bureaucratic bullshit. That all they're doing is they're just feeding their financial coffers from the athletes' dues and taking more money from the promoters and little percentages off the tickets that we as the fans are paying. That's all bullshit. Do away with all that. Here's what we do. We penalize the athlete. If you miss weight by 0.0001, you missed weight, motherfucker. 50% total gross fine. 50% of total earnings. Any penny you make in relation to that competition, 50% goes to your opponent, should your opponent accept the fight. Your opponent is not bound to accept the fight because you breached the contract, you missed weight. In the event that you miss weight, your opponent has the option to either accept a forfeit and receive their show and their win money and not compete. Very difficult for opponents to do that because they're fighters and they want to fight. They need a good manager to tell them that that's a bad idea, but I digress. So less than 3 pounds, the opponent has the option to accept your forfeit and receive their show and win, or they have the option to fight you and take 50% of your total gross earnings. And then however the fight lays out, it lays out. If you miss weight by 3 pounds or more, the fight is automatically scrapped. You are pulled from the card. You cannot compete. Your opponent receives their show money and their win money and a win on their record once again because you forfeited. You are then suspended on a sliding scale starting at 6 months. If you miss weight for any reason by 0.001 or 10 pounds, you are suspended after that bout for 6 months, first offense. 12 months, second offense, just like doping, because missing weight is institutionalized cheating. We can say that because of the 7 athletes who missed weight and competed in the UFC this year, they are 6-1. Massive, massive percentage goes to the athlete who misses weight. Massive win percentage. Not fair. That's cheating. That's cheating. There's also, now, what does the commission do? Now, should the athlete choose to compete, should the good opponent choose to compete, you lose 1 point because it's an unfair advantage. That's fair, right? You're the one who breached the contract, motherfucker. And people are like, oh, DOLCE, that's not fair. No, bullshit. It's a 2-part contract. You make weight, you fight. Call your mortgage company right now and say, hey, guys, yeah, I know I'm supposed to pay you $1,000 a month, but I'm not going to pay you. I'm only going to pay you $100 for the rest of the next 30 years. You can't breach that contract. Try and breach your car loan agreement. Try and breach your student loan agreement. Look at the penalties you get. Try and breach your marriage contract. Look at the penalties you get. The point is, the higher the penalty, the more compliant the participant. That's all. I want to get to a perfect world in which nobody misses weight because these unprofessional athletes start living professionally 52 weeks a year, like our athletes do. Mirsad Bektik was on weight the night before weigh-ins. He had dinner before he went to bed, and we started to rehydrate him. We floated him back up. He woke up that morning. We pulled 1.8 pounds off of him in a 20-minute tub. He did some yoga. And then we did a little bit of tub session, listened to some blues music, shot the shit, joked around. He got up and he was 0.2 under. Put on his clean clothes, went downstairs, stepped on the scale. Perfect, the epitome of perfect health. Blood pressure 120 over 68, heart rate 66. Think about that, all you athletes and coaches and medical professionals out there. This is at his lightest. This is, quote, dehydrated while cutting weight. That's how healthy he is. That's healthier than almost everybody listening to this video right now, perfectly hydrated. Mirsad walks around at 172 pounds, lean as fuck. He competes at 145. Well, shit. Percentage-wise, I don't know many who are cutting more weight than Mirsad, but it's the way we do it in a professional manner. 3 weeks before competition, he can make weight any day. Any day before competition, 3 weeks out, Mirsad can make weight. He follows 3 weeks to Shredded. You guys know 3 weeks to Shredded. 3 weeks to Shredded is the most successful weight loss program ever devised. And you can try it out at thedolcediet.com if you want to. The 4 or 12-week program, every UFC fighter on the roster should be a member because they can do the 8-week, 3 weeks to Shredded program 12 weeks beforehand. And then the last 3 weeks, they could jump on to the final 3 weeks to Shredded where we actually peak you for competition. You can do that. Everybody can do that right now at thedolcediet.com if you want to get in amazing effing shape. But the controversy is smoke and mirrors. It's all bullshit. All you have to do is make it hurt more for the athlete to miss weight and win than for them to make weight and lose. Because there's no harm in that, right? If they're professionals, they prepare professionally, they miss weight or they make their weight, they get beat by the better man or the better woman on that day, it's high five, go back to the gym, let's keep training and get better. We have athletes who win, we have athletes who lose. Our athletes do so with honor. And that's what this is about. Now, mind you, my team has never, ever, ever, never, ever had an athlete ever miss weight. We're the only team in mixed martial arts who can say that. For a 20-year career, we have never had an elite athlete miss weight ever. We've never had any athlete miss weight, but especially at the elite level. And there are these bogus bullshit fucking teams running around that have athletes miss weight with regularity. regularity. Yoel Romero just missed weight for the UFC middleweight world title. He missed weight for the world title after he missed weight last fight for the interim world title. He never this is where this is 6-month suspension should have come in. He never should have had the opportunity to fight for the title after he missed weight. And I like Yoel. Yoel's a cool guy. He's a nice guy. He's a great athlete, but he breached his contract and missed weight and showed the world that he is not dependable. And that is supported by the fact that he then missed weight for the very next fight, the next world title fight. And in that world title fight, in that UFC card, and I predicted beforehand, you will see the pay-per-view buys plummet, because when an athlete misses weight for a world title fight, that athlete can no longer fight for the world title. Therefore, that was no longer a world title fight. And the fans, you fans, I'm a fan too. I didn't buy the pay-per-view because he missed weight. I don't give a fuck. It's just a 5-round fight now from a dude who cheated. And I know Yoel tried to make weight. I'm not saying he didn't try to make weight, but he tried to make weight the last couple days before competition instead of doing what he needed to do for the 2 and 3 months before weigh-ins. Once he missed weight for his first fight, he should have done everything in his power to make sure he would make weight, and he didn't. And we can go through the long list of athletes who consistently miss weight. And what's interesting is many of these athletes who are missing weight and getting pulled from cards all work with the same group of individuals. Why is that? Untrained, unexperienced, unlicensed, unprepared to do what needs to be done for these athletes to make weight in a healthy manner. That's a scary thing. These athletes are risking their health, their livelihood, by sometimes listening to different teams who do not have the proper medical experience or practical expertise to assist these athletes. So if there is any regulation, the regulation should have to do with the professionals who are actually allowed to work with these athletes. That would, and those professionals should be experienced or licensed registered dietitians experienced in what is known as medical nutrition therapy. If you don't know what that is, please go and look it up. Medical nutrition therapy, please look it up. Every aspect of medical nutrition therapy covers what these athletes are going through. And if you just have some fucking bro running around rubbing some fucking sweat goo on you, you're fucked. If your coach is putting you into a sauna in a plastic suit, you're already fucked. If your coach is having you drink distilled water 2 and 3 and 4 days before competition, you're already fucked. If your coach has you pulling sodium 3 days before weigh-ins, you are already fucked. You are already fucked. Fucked. So that is my rant. I hope it makes sense. I tried to add lots of behind the scenes context that nobody else shares. I will share it because I am the most honest man in fitness. Boom. Paul Thompson, cool. Been waiting to hear about this from you on what your observation is. There we go, Paul. Now you know. J124, what's up, man? Seth, perfect timing, Dolce. I am doing well, Seth. How are you, my brother? Excuse me. Let me get a little bit of this nitro. Oh, nitro cold brew from the Baguette Cafe. Thank you to my brother Olivier for hooking it up. My goodness. Mateo. I love you, Dolce. Mateo, I love you too. Bros can say that. Steven Mathis, on Living Lean now, doing 3 weeks of shredded in a few weeks. How did you refeed after 3 weeks of shredded? That's a great question. So I'm just about to finish up my second round of 3 weeks to shredded at thedolcediet.com. I mentioned it earlier. The most successful weight loss program known to man, as proven by the world's greatest athletes with a 100% success ratio over 20 years. That's a big deal right there. So how do I refeed? I refeed the exact same way as our athletes do. This is how we instruct you guys to do. We refeed with the very same foods we eat going into the weight cut. And what I say is we want to pull out the same way that we pulled in. What we start doing is we just start adding more of the same basic food groups. We start adding more oats and more fruits and more seeds and more quinoa and more jasmine white rice and more potato, more eggs and more wild caught salmon, more broccoli and more spinach and more pepper and more onion and more mushroom and more asparagus and more cauliflower. And just slowly, 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 we start staging more. Now, the big meal when we're refeeding is the power pasta. The power pasta that night after the quote weight cut weigh in, that night, that Friday night, we have the power pasta. After we've slowly implemented the food back in and we stage the food back in, slightly different for the athletes who are competing than those competing in a mixed martial arts, a glycolytic competition, for those who understand. Or we work with physique athletes and models and actors who need to have that fucking yoked, dry, round, full, grainy look. It's a different way to refeed based upon that. I refed myself more like an athlete who needs to compete. We're getting more of that usable glycogen to be stored while making sure we have the proper ratio of protein and fats supported by the foundation of high net value micro and phytonutrition. So, simple answer, just start eating slightly more of the same foods that you ate the last 3 days as you pull out of that weight cut, and do that for 3 days. Ooh, money, because it's that Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then boom, Monday, reset, hit that round two of 3 weeks to shred it if you want to get ultra fucking shredded. I've actually added lean muscle tissue, about 2 pounds of lean, true lean muscle tissue I've been able to add in the second round of 3 weeks to shred it while still losing non-functional body fat. The first time I did it, I lost 28 pounds, 213.2 down to 185.00. Now, I did employ a water cut the last 48 hours. To be clear, my true weight was really about 190, 191 or so. So I lost about 22 total pounds. Then I water cut down to 185. I refed myself back up to 198 and looked fucking sick. Looked just full and vascular and fucking grainy. I looked awesome because I refed for 3 days and then I reset with round two of 3 weeks to shredded. And now, last time I stepped on the scale, I posted it. I started at 198. I was down at 190, but I put on 2 pounds of muscle in that time. So truly, I should be at like 188, but I put on the 2 pounds of lean muscle. And this is going through InBody with a very stable in body. So believe what you want about the in body. I don't care. That's fine. We have the photos. We have all the gym data because we've been shooting metrics on it. So the dolcediet.com, 3 weeks to shredded, the 4 week or 12 week plan. If you want to try it, go there right now. It's fucking bomb. And Steven Mathis knows. Carlos, Mike, what's your opinion on the grain farro? So farro is one of those meals or those ingredients that we'll put in from time to time. It's not programmed on our system. In Living Lean, you can have it a little bit more on 3 weeks to shredded. 3 weeks to shredded is more structured because it's a 21-day extreme weight loss program. We have a very specific goal for those 21 days. And then you transition into the 8-week Living Lean program where farro and couscous and other type of healthy grains are more accessible. And we teach you how to put those in and out, but not every day. Fedrin, can't believe Yoel Romero missed weight again. Shocking. I know, it's crazy. It's crazy. If no one hired Zero Integrity George, that make a dent in that 3%. I know, right? I wonder what it'd be interesting, and maybe you guys can do the research to see what percent of the athletes that missed weight actually work with him and his team. That'd be interesting, or whoever. And maybe it's just not even him because I don't want to just bash him, though I know they're terrible. What other teams are out there? Is there a connection between the athletes who are missing weight and the teams, the nutrition teams that they're working with? I have my own suspicions, but I haven't put the time into really looking. J124 says, man, I hope Triple G ices clenbuterol Canelo. No cheats. I know, right? So that's Triple G has signed to fight Canelo Alvarez September 15th, I believe, in September here in Las Vegas at the T-Mobile. And that we might see Uncle Mike sitting ringside for that one. That'll be a good fight. But yeah, man, I hope that they have some sort of independent testing so they can make sure everybody's clean. Jason Montoya, they would rather the athletes make weight and make them money than the health and safety of the fighters. It looks like that because it's not putting the health of the athlete first. That's the scary thing. Jason, by the way, what's up, Dolce? What's up, Jay? Seth, the hot tub club with Dolce looks like more fun than the sauna with plastics. Amen, right? Come and chill. Come in because girls are sitting in the hot tub. Who doesn't want to lose a couple pounds with some Betties next to you? I do. Kirsten, what's up, Kirsten? Hey, Mike, how are you? I'm wonderful. Love and appreciate being able to check in for my trip Triple D, daily dose of Dolce. Hope you are having an amazing day. Kirsten, I am so happy that you are here, young lady. Thank you for being a part of it. And Kirsten, by the way, guys and girls, is crushing her own weight loss results on 3 weeks to Shredded. She checked in yesterday and is fucking killing it. Proud of you, girl. Golden Trick Hydra, terrible decision by Dana. I agree. I can't imagine the commissions will allow it because there is liability here. All medical science shows moving it forward is a bad idea. That's all. It just takes one athlete to prove that and bring a suit against them. Serious business. Roman Grant, what's up, Mike? Hey, bro, I'm 47, 156, pretty lean. Roadmaps in all my arms. Damn. Got full abs, but this little loose skin on my lower abs just can't get off, pissing me off. Any input? Roman, it could just be simply water. You might be a little soggy. I would increase my water intake first and see what happens. I would also try taking a nice 30-minute bath, warm bath, not hot bath, before I went to bed at night while sipping water, making sure you get a good sweat, and then finish in an ice cold shower. See how your abs look when you wake up the next day. What are we doing? We're increasing perspiration. We're allowing your body to shed any of that subcutaneous water through that nice bath. We're replacing with purified water, and then we're reducing inflammation in the shower that night. See what happens. Seth, I do find it more curious that Dana is more mad at the times versus the practices of some of these charlatans. Ooh, Seth, that's a great point. You're dead on. That's a great point. It's a straw man argument. Moyes, Roman, only surgery will remove excess skin. Well, let's give him some time. Moyes, he could just be a little soggy. I'm soggy too, right? My body, I hold a lot of water naturally. Naturally, that's just the way it is. So I got to be, if I really want to look like lean and tight and shredded and vascular, I got to pay more attention to my water intake because my body naturally holds more subcutaneous water. Just the way I am. Sad, but tiramisu is so good. Ain't that the truth? Carlos, I actually don't like tiramisu. Well, I think it's gross. Give me a piece of cheesecake, though. Yeah, buddy. Carlos Hernandez, I did 3 weeks of shredded for my last fight and lost 23 pounds. Was on weight for my fight. It was perfect. Carlos, it was the best weight cut I had in years. That's Carlos Hernandez. Followed our 3 weeks to shredded program at thedolcediet.com. He lost 23 pounds in 21 days following the most successful weight loss program ever devised. You can too at thedolcediet.com. I tell you this because it's true. We have the people, we have all the data to prove it. Try it for yourself and let me know what you think. Vasily Dolce, what happens to my access to the program when my 4 weeks ends? I want to do it again. Vasily, that is awesome. So what you do is just let us know and we will reset your program. I think there's a discount. I think you get it like a 20 or 30% discount on the reset. But if you want to continue, there's a $9 membership fee. If you want to continue on and just keep all the data, all the input, what it does, it gives you your last week, but also your whole journal. So your entire exercise journal is there. All the exercises, all the workouts that you ever done are locked in there. You get the full resource section, 200 new recipes, 200 exercises. Your leaderboard is all there to see where you fit in. All of your metrics, your weigh-in data, your predictive avatars, that's all there. But if you want to upgrade the system, just shoot it. You can always just click on contact and the team will hook you up. We are here for you, my friend. What else we got? Up. Carlos Hernandez, shocked about behind the scenes weight cutting. Well, wow, there's lots of, sorry guys, there's so much, this always shoots by sometimes. At least he didn't sit on the stool too long this time. You'll look good in that fight. I got to say, he looked good in that fight. It's a shame that his legacy is tainted by these weight cuts, these poor weight cuts. That's a shame. We want to eradicate that. Christian, on the MMA Hour, they said Yoel's team said they hired Zero Integrity George the week before weigh-ins. Big deal. They hired him to do what? They hired to get him on weight, right? They didn't hire him to miss weight. They hired him to get him on weight. If you accept the job, you accept the job. It's a yes or no. I'm sure they didn't say, yeah, I don't know, maybe. We'll bring in at 0.2 over. How's that sound? They accepted the fucking job. Stop making excuses. Make weight or make excuses. A or B. My team has been hired the day before fucking weigh-ins. Ask Dana. Dana knows the UFC has called me. Every fucking team has called me because they have a problem Wednesday night. Usually I get phone calls on Wednesday night from teams, athletes I've never worked with. Fuck, Dolce, can you help us? Here's a suitcase worth of fucking cash. Get on a plane. Yeah, never once, ever has an athlete that we've worked with ever missed weight. A week. Fuck a week. A week easy. I could get you down 30 pounds in a week. How about this? Dwayne Ludwig took a fight on 13 days' notice, 42 pounds over, and made weight to fight in the UFC versus Jim Miller. 42 pounds over, 198 to 156. We cut in 13 days. What? What? Think about that percentage of body weight. And what I heard Yoel was only 10 pounds over. Okay, so that's 185. That means Yoel weighed 195. Dwayne weighed 198. What? You want to fucking make excuses or you want to make weight? Is one or the other. You can't run around and claim to even know half of what you're supposed to. You can't claim to be the best when your athletes miss fucking weight all the time and get sent to the hospital and say they almost died. Craziness, crazy talk. So that's all. It's all that hocus pocus bogus smoke and mirrors. What else? What's your preferred cacao percentage for chocolate? We like 73% or more. Ephedrine shocked about behind the scenes weight cutting. Thanks, Dolce. You got it. Dolce Dot disclaimer. Mike doesn't warn you about all these massive shits you'll be taking. I do, because it's getting regular with your bowel movements. We love. I did a whole video on the one wiper, the coveted one wiper. That is the goal of all Dolce dieters. The one wiper is the most beautiful bowel movement you will ever have. And you look down, it's like you gave birth to the sweet baby Jesus himself. No disrespect, but it's so beautiful. It's a transformative experience. You look down, you're like, oh my God, that looks so good. I want to eat it again. And then you go to wipe, and when you wipe, there's nothing there because your bowel movement is so clean. This happens on the Dolce diet, and many of you have already reported the coveted one wiper has been successful. Yes, it has. It has. That's so yeah, I talk about it all the time. We love it. Amen. High five. Carlos, yep, felt 100% with the refeed on the Dolce diet. Amen. Carlos was fight ready the next day. Hell yeah, hot dog. For an amateur boxer, I work out twice a day, 5 times a week. Is this overtraining? Yep. You might think of Monday, Tuesday twice, once on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday twice, once on Saturday, or even you need to be training with your periodization, your high, low, and medium blocks, maybe 2 high, 2 medium, 2 low blocks, and a couple active recovery, depending on your level. Seth, I am blessed and highly favored. Dolce looking at coming to Vegas early December, then going on 3 weeks of shredded for a Hawaii vacation. Hell yeah. Muscle Brussel, what do you think of Blaha's bench squat deadlift 1 set per day? Do you think he will completely change his body composition using the Bulgarian method? I think he'll get stronger. And on TRT, he'll likely add some muscle tissue. So I can't say anything bad about the training system. You will get stronger doing the Bulgarian, and he seems to be pretty consistent. And I'm impressed that he's posting daily videos. He's fucking walking the walk, right? So I'll bash people when they need the bashing, and I'll give credit where they need the credit. He's fucking walking the walk here. That's important to say. I don't think his body composition will change from that style of training because it is a low calorie type of system. So it has low net caloric expenditure, that style of training. So he's going to have to be much more specific on his nutrition intake, which some athletes like to out train their nutrition reduction. What does that mean? With our system, what we try and do is keep our calories relatively high, but then we push our training expenditure to burn the excess body fats, facilitate lean muscle tissue, hard, intense workouts, but we try and outwork a reduction in calories. We don't want to drop our calories, thereby we lose micronutrition. So if you're not burning a lot of calories through expenditure, then you have to start to reduce calories to have a positive impact on lean mass composition. So Jason might need to start getting much more specific on his nutrition intake. And that's where a lot of people struggle, because it's easier to just go hit another workout or two than to drop 500 to 1,000 calories. But we'll see what happens. Carlos, hot dog, maybe try his high, light, and medium intensity, high intensity methods in your workout. Hell yeah, Carlos, that's the truth. Good morning, George. What's up, Jason? I'm running low on Onnit's Dolce Way. Should I restock or wait for the new Dolce Way? The Dolce Way, we're looking at July right now. Hopefully July 1st is the date. It's a canister issue at the moment. So the product is delicious. I have some bags, but I'll look like a Coke dealer if I just sell Ziploc bags of the Dolce Way Pro. We're just getting our canisters in stock. So soon. Kyle Reyes, what's up, my brother? Boom. Ready to go out there and whip ass, champ? I know you are. AM. Just zoomed by. Shit. AM says, I did 3 weeks to shred it. It was the easiest weight cut I have ever done for my K1 fight. I won. I was well under my fight weight and was feeling awesome. Thank you. I'm 42 years old and still fighting, right? 32 or 42 years old, K1 fighter, does 3 weeks to shredded, easiest weight cut of their career right there. The DolceDiet.com, guys and girls. It works. It works. It works. It works. If you want to lose weight, if you want to feel better, if you want to gain muscle, if you want to gain structure, if you want to increase energy, if you want to get on track and jumpstart your weight loss, go to the DolceDiet.com right now and start. It works. It works. It works, right? You know it works. Stop trying all these bullshit programs that you don't know if it works. This fucking works. How many testimonials, unsolicited testimonials, just come through here? Roman, thanks, Mike, for answering my question. I'll try that. Also start at 265 before I started this cut. Wow. So you lost 100 pounds. I lost 100 pounds. I was 282 and went all the way down to 169 to fight in the IFL. So I know how that feels. Congratulations, man. And now I walk around in the high 90s, low 200s. Boom, the bicep of truth right there, ladies and gentlemen. The tricep of integrity, the bicep of truth. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. I feel like a fucking god. Omar says, do the last couple weeks of the 12-week program help put on more muscle? Absolutely, they do, as long as you're training for more muscle. If you're training to replicate lean muscle tissue, the nutrition on the Living Lean program, the last 8 weeks of the 12-week program, it's a recomposition program. You will continue to lean out and you will continue to add lean functional muscle, as long as that's what you're stimulating through the training effect. And if you chose that gain muscle, gain strength in your onboarding system, you are on the exact right training program to build lean muscle tissue. Keep me posted, my man. Vert, do you believe in Epsom salt baths to help tighten the skin? No. I think it's good for recuperation. But no, I haven't really seen any skin tightening effect of it. I think just the bath itself will help tighten the skin. What else? Dolce, what's your preferred cardio regimen for fat loss? List low intensity, steady state cardiovascular activity while fasted, first thing in the morning. Wake up, take a tinkle, wash your hands, step on the scale, track your weight, drink 16 ounces of room temperature water, put on your little workout outfit, tie up your shoes, grab your iPhone, pop in the Mike Dolce Show podcast, and go for a 60-minute walk. Turn around, come on home. Start your day, make a breakfast bowl, day begins. That's what we recommend. That is the most successful way to lose stored body fat and to increase life and longevity. Kyle Reyes, professional MMA athlete, easiest cut ever, 100% following the Dolce Diet 3 weeks of shredded program. Boom. Kyle's over there right now in ACB in Australia, about to put it on some respectable athlete, but Kyle's going to make him look like he's an amateur. Kyle, we're all pulling for you, my brother. Can't wait. Cornelius, have you ever worked with the lightweight rowers on an international Olympic level? So I've never worked with a rower, but we did work with Galen Rupp, who took the bronze medal for the United States in the marathon in the 2016 Olympics. Boom. How about that? We work with Shane Perkins, who is the bronze medalist for Australia in sprint cycling. So we work with Coleman Scott, who took the bronze medal for the United States in the 2012 London Games in freestyle wrestling. So we have our share of Olympic medalists. We have a list of other Olympic qualifiers, Olympic athletes, but those are our Olympic medalists. Greetings from Germany. Hello, Cornelius. Do you drink kombucha? I do from time to time. Excuse me. Kyle Ray says, out here in Brisbane, Australia, fighting an ACB 88. I weigh in 5 hours and am already on weight. Use the Dolce step method, weight cut every time, and I'm always on point. Easiest weight cut ever. Kyle, I am so proud of you, my brother. Kyle is getting it done, ladies and gentlemen. A professional fighter with money on the line knows to invest in the Dolce diet system because we are the most successful. 100% success ratio. Desiree, I'm sad I don't get to see Mirsad Bektik fight. Paid to see the fights, and they said prelims couldn't show in my area. I know, Desiree. That's so annoying. Oh, it's so annoying. I deal with that stuff all the time, too. It's so annoying. But that's why I have Fight Pass. I have Fight Pass, and I know I'll be able to see all the fights like a week or two later for $9 a month. It's worth it. Tony says, why have some of your former fighters like Gastelum and Hendricks missed weight? Well, mind you, they never missed weight while working with us, ever. After we stopped working with them is when they missed weight. Kelvin missed weight multiple times after working with us. Johnny Hendricks missed weight multiple times after working with us. The problem is we make it seem so easy because we are so professional and experienced. They don't even understand what we are doing. We just take all the stress, all the anxiety away. They don't understand. They are just like, wow, I can't believe I get to eat such delicious foods. They don't understand the interplay between ingredients. They don't understand the meal timing. They don't understand the nutrient partitioning effect of the foods that we eat and the time with which we feed them. They do not understand electrolyte balance. They do not understand micronutrient intake. They do not understand optimal hydration levels. They do not understand that. Therefore, they think they can just buy our cookbook and then achieve world class success. Well, they cannot. What if they were smart? What they would have done, they would have just gone to the dolcediet.com and joined our 4 week or 12 week online program. Then they would have made weight and felt great and moved forward and saved hundreds of thousands of dollars in lost purses. That's the truth. Muscle Brussel. That's Blaha's goal, though. Strength and big change in body composition. I agree. So the strength, I think, is a given. His training program looks good. Dolce approved. I think that's a good training system for what his goals are. And his lifts have gone up. I've been watching over the last month or two. His lifts keep going up. His form looks pretty good still. Weight loss, though, is another thing. That's going to have to weight loss and body composition. It's 90% nutrition. That's what it is. I wish it wasn't. It's 90% nutrition. So we're gonna have to see him step up, and maybe he's already doing it behind the scenes. I don't know. But nutrition, that's gonna cover the weight loss. My wife said, if you want to come over for dinner, she Mike making the skinny sumo stir fry. Carlos, I love it, man. Where you at? I might if I'm ever in town, I will take you guys up on that shit. I will fucking come and crash your party and eat that food. So I will never turn down a good dinner, guys and girls. Um, TJ, when my soldiers come in overweight and bust tape, I give them my 3 weeks of shredded book, and it works every time. They use it to get off the fat boy program and never go back on it. It works. TJ, that's the truth. 3 weeks of shredded is the most successful weight loss program ever devised. It is. It is. It is. Seth, um, if you don't listen to the bicep of truth and the tricep of integrity, you'll get trapped and dealt with. Amen. That's awesome. I like it. Steven, sorry if I missed your answer. Internet went down, but I'm on Living Lean now, doing 3 weeks of shredded in a few weeks. How did you refeed after finishing? I did. I refed the same way. So what you do is basically you back out of the weight cut the same way you pulled into it. So you kind of zigzag and slowly drop your meals down. Just start eating more of those very same meals. We usually, after the weigh-in, we start with water and electrolytes. We go from there. We have some fresh fruit. We move into a modified breakfast bowl, like a half-size breakfast bowl from what you normally ate. We give that about 15 to 45 minutes. We see how well it digests. Then we add another breakfast bowl. And what we say, we never put a meal for the first 6 hours any larger than a coffee cup. This is a huge, huge, huge pro tip right here, guys and girls. This is worth all the fucking money, all your money right now. When you're really trying to handle your body weight, when you're refeeding from a competition or a weight cut, serve your meal, serve your food in a coffee cup, eat out of the coffee cup, put it down, and wait 15 minutes. If you're still hungry, have another coffee cup filled with food and wait 15 minutes. What this does, it allows for the proper digestion, absorption, and utilization of those nutrients. Most of the time, people overeat, and what happens? They bottleneck in their digestive system. Their metabolism slows down. They're not processing these vital nutrients. Therefore, they're not absorbing them. Therefore, it's useless. What we do is we keep that food slowly and consistently trickling in to maximize nutrient uptake. That's what we do. Steven, answer that, Steven. Tony, so Hendricks and Gaslam just thought they could eat burgers because of the Dolce burgers. That's pretty much, yeah. I don't know exactly what their thought process was, but essentially, they thought they could do it on their own. Danny Peterson, what's up, Danny? Good to see you. Bo Sim, Dolce will get anyone to weight success rate. You buy cheap, you buy twice. I love that comment. That is the truth. What we say is these athletes want filet mignon on a bologna budget. So they buy bologna. And then they're surprised when they're fucking eating bologna. You want filet mignon, you pay for filet mignon, right? But they want bologna. So they're paying for bologna, and that's what they're getting. Mike, so far, the only problem I see with the Dolce diet is that it's a diet. How does it become a lifestyle? It's a lifestyle, man. Once you go through the first 4 weeks or 3 weeks of shredded, you lose your 21 pounds in 21 days, if you will. That's what it's designed for, based upon the individual. Individual results may vary. It's designed to lose 21 pounds in 21 days for athletes or individuals that have that much weight to lose, and that's the specific goal. But you lose that first jump start of weight, and then you transition into our 8-week Living Lean program. On the Living Lean program, this is where we trick you into living the Dolce diet lifestyle with which you don't need us anymore. That's the whole goal. And during those 8 weeks, now your menu opens up dramatically. It's a similar format, 2, 3 weeks to shredded, but now you have all these different breakfast and lunch and dinner and snack and dessert and pre-workout and post-workout food options. We have over 200 recipes available to you that we teach you how to eat to continue to gain muscle, gain strength, increase energy, and drop non-functional body weight. So that becomes the lifestyle. This is the lifestyle that I live, that we live, that all of our athletes live, all of our clients live. We have 4 number 1 international best-selling books as an independent publisher for a reason. We didn't put one single dollar behind those books in marketing. They were all word of mouth because it fucking works, and it is a lifestyle. Remember, it's not a diet, it is a lifestyle. Seth, if you need a hype man, I'm here. Seth, amen, brother. I do, and I appreciate you. B1, hey, Mike, from your experience, do men start to get older after 35 or earlier or later? Because GSP said he feels better at 37 than when he was 25. Is that even possible? It's possible because as we get older, we get wiser. He's probably training much more intelligently, taking much better care of his body. George is a very smart man, very smart athlete. And he's also very successful financially. So he has the ability to take better care of himself than a lot of us do. That being said, as we get older, we do take better care of ourselves. You can't live the way you lived at 35 as when you were 25. And I think that's what George means. Joseph, what up, Dolce? Shout out from Jersey. I'm cutting and lifting 3 times a week. My job requires me to do a military PT test. I run 1.5 miles twice a week. Is this too much while in a deficit? No. 1.5 miles is easy. 1.5 miles should take you 10 minutes, right? I mean, 1.5 miles is a pretty easy run. Hey, Mike, do you think that going back to the later weigh-ins will possibly compromise the fighter's health? 100%. That 100% it will. Absolutely. And all of science supports that. It absolutely will. It takes nearly 48 hours to adequately rehydrate after a weight cut. After a 5% or more. I think this stat is 3%, let's say a 5% or more. In the single digit percentage of total body mass loss, it takes 48 hours to recover. Crazy. Stephen Mathis, thanks for answering my question and all the awesome content. Stephen, you got it. TJ, what are your thoughts on that? On what, man? Oh, I just answered. Tony, what do you think of meal prep? Most people think that it's the best way to sustain a healthy lifestyle. Well, meal prep helps. How we meal prep in our house, we bulk meal prep. We don't make these little small dishes. We make a big old thing of rice, a big old thing of quinoa, a big old thing of broccoli. We grill up a few racks of vegetables. We make a bunch of, salmon we like to do same day, but we'll make a bunch of sick and a bunch of like ground grass-fed beef or whatever. We'll hard boil a dozen eggs. Then we're ready to go. We put them all in big Tupperwares, like big containers in the refrigerator. And when it's time to leave in the morning, I just grab a small Tupperware, I scoop a few things in, I'm out. Done deal. Lifestyle it is. So rewarding cooking your own food. Amen. Desiree, appreciate it. Bo Sim, Squat and Steak is coming soon. And Stephen Mathis, shout out to the Bob for great customer service. Amen. Mike, what about meal prep on the road? We bring our food with us. Bring as much as you can with us. I contact local grocery stores and I have food delivered to my hotels when I travel, or I at least know the grocery store in town. And when I'm going from the airport, I'll stop on the cab stop or the Uber stop or whatever, and I'll stop at the grocery store. I'll grab what I need. That's, you just make it a priority. Add an extra hour in your day to get your food done. Hot Dog, Dolce, I really appreciate your advice, man. Keep it up. Thank you. I appreciate you guys, each and every one of you. It is time for me to go now. I've been on almost an hour. You guys are all amazing. Thank you so much for being here. The beginning of this video, we talked about the weight cutting controversy. Definitely go back and listen. I share a lot of behind the scenes insight that nobody is talking about. And then I believe I do my best to crush everybody's question as we go. Remember, every single one of you can go to thedolcediet.com right now and start your own 4-week or 12-week online personalized weight loss program, as proven successful by the world's greatest athletes for over 20 years with a 100% success rate. Also, do you want to become a Dolce Diet certified coach? You can come July 6th, 7th, and 8th to Las Vegas, and you can come and get certified right here at the Dolce Diet and Fitness Center. Hang out with me and our team of elite professionals sit side by side with some of the coolest people on the planet in a small, intimate group. We keep these conferences very small so we can have one-on-one personal relationships. Desiree Schmidt came, Coach Desiree Schmidt, who did pass. She's now a certified Dolce diet nutrition coach. You can do that too. We would love for you to come out here. This will change your life. The motivation, the life skills that we offer, in addition to nutrition and dietetics, social media marketing, branding, even finances, we get down and deep. How to become a millionaire if you want to do so. We teach you how to do it. If you want to learn how to do it, it's a lot easier than you might think, but you will have to work for it. That's dolcedietshop.com. Go right now, and I'm going to give you a discount code. It's Vegas DDC. You will save $150 off the retail price right now. Vegas DDC is the discount code at dolcedietshop.com. If you want to, July 6th, 7th, and 8th here in Las Vegas during International Fight Week. Get here. I would love to sit with you and hang with you and get to know with you and work with you and become a member of our team. We fucking crush it. And I think that's it. So until next time, guys, I appreciate each and every one of you. I will be back soon. Make sure you follow us on Instagram because we throw heat on there. I'm probably going to do a live 20-minute Instagram live right now, too. Until next time, boom.